Hello traders, FXPIPCOLLECTOR here. Today is Wednesday, May 24th, and welcome to today's live stream. Thanks for coming. Hey Connor, how's it going? Hey MZR, thanks for coming. Appreciate that. TMCA, I'm glad you guys are all learning and enjoying my content. So as usual, we're going to start off by looking at the US dollar index, mostly the DXY on the monthly, then work our way down from the monthly time frame all the way down to the 1 hour time frame. Then we're going to take the information we learned about analyzing the US dollar and the DXY. We're going to apply that information to all these other US dollar pairs, including gold, and see if we can figure out what the most likely thing to happen is going to end up being. So we may as well just get started right away as usual. Definitely, if you don't mind, definitely like and subscribe to my channel. It makes a huge difference to push my content out to new people. So anyways, on the monthly time frame, I still think there's a very good likelihood this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A. I think this is an A, B, C of B, and I still think there's a very good likelihood this is a wave C right here. We definitely have an impulsive move down. We do have a break of structure. To me, it looks like the end of a crescent. If this is the end of a crescent, then it should do the exact same thing that any end of a crescent would do, even like a 1 hour or a 15-minute end of a crescent. So if this is the end of an ABC crescent, then price is going to end up continuing the downtrend like this. Now, this is the monthly time frame, so really this is going to take years to play out, probably at least like 2027, maybe even 2030 before this actually plays out. So let's keep that in mind though, because it is very important. Let's go down to the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame is where you can actually start to see the lower lows, lower highs that make up this downtrend. I still think it's a wave 1, but it could be a wave A. I still think this is an A, B, and that we're in a wave C. Most wave Cs do take out the higher wave A, but definitely not always. So I do expect this to go up more, maybe end up looking something like that for an ABC of 2, before it actually ends up continuing the downtrend for that wave 3, or possibly an ABC. If it's an ABC, it might look something like that, take out structure, and end up continuing the uptrend. So let's take it down to the daily time frame. Now on the daily time frame is where you can start breaking down this wave A trend. You can see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A. You can also start to see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A, which is an A of B. 3 waves up for the B of B, and another downtrend for the C of B. Now we are definitely going up. We are sitting at the 61.8% Fibonacci level of this last move down, so that could be an area of resistance. And really, if this is going to go up and make like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of C, then really we may actually have like a 2, a 3, 4, and 5 ahead of us. May even end up looking something like this for like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So keep that in mind, that the next move down could end up being a corrective wave 2. So we do have to keep that in mind as we go down. Now as we go down, the trend is definitely not over, I don't think, by any means. This is the time frame where you can actually start to see the higher highs, higher lows the whole way up. We just got a new swing today, so really technically we could probably end up moving this up here, because that's going to be a new higher low level. So let's put that up there. So now as long as price does not go down and does not take out that level, then the trend is definitely still up. So as long as price keeps on going up and it doesn't make a break of structure to the downside, then I'm just going to keep on going longs on shorter time frames. So taking it down to the 1 hour time frame. 1 hour time frame, we had almost a perfect ABC correction today, which I actually posted about in my private chats on Discord. If anybody is interested in joining my Discord, it's 100% free to join, no obligations to pay a dime if you do not want to. But where I do most of my trade ideas is in the private chats for the paying members only. So if anybody is interested in joining my Patreon, that's how you get access to my trading course, my members forecasts, the private chats, and the educational information. So anyways, we had almost a perfect ABC correction right here today. As you can see, it's been trending up ever since. I think it's more likely to keep going up. I'm sure we'll experience some resistance around this area, but I am definitely still looking for longs at the end of ABC pullbacks. So If we expect that the dollar is not finished going up, then we should expect that a lot of these dollar pairs are probably not finished going down. So let's go to the euro dollar, which the euro dollar definitely had a big push up today, which must have been caused by the euro because it was more of a euro move than anything. We did have some euro news. We had German business climate info right here, so that must be what did it. And we have, let me reset this. We had somebody speaking in the UK, and then we also have Yelling speaking at 3 o'clock. We're going to be on the meeting when that happens, so that's good. And tonight, this meeting minutes FOMC is definitely a pretty important news event. So at 7 p.m. tonight, you definitely may want to be looking at the dollar pairs to see if there's going to be an entry for that. That's actually a very big news event. It usually can give people a clue about what the Feds are thinking about, whether they're going to raise interest rates or not. So anyways, let's get back to the charts. So the euro dollar is definitely trending down. I still think that this is like a 1. I still think this is an A. And I think that this is an irregular wave B, I still think. And that this is moved down is most likely a wave C. Now if this does go up and if it does break structure, just like I was showing on the US dollar, it could end up turning into a corrective wave 2 and then go down and make a 3, 4, 5, something like that. But if it breaks structure to the upside, I'm definitely going to be ready to go long because it could definitely end this trend and it could be the continuation of the uptrend. If this right here really is a wave C, then the trend will end up continuing up. So let's head down to the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, now we have a new lower high level. As you can see, we got a new level. So as long as the price does not break that level right there, the trend is definitely still down. So until price actually breaks that level, I'm definitely only looking for shorts in a downtrend. If it makes some sort of a three-way pattern up, if it makes an impulsive move down, then I'll just continue to trade short for the continuation of the downtrend. As long as it doesn't go up and break this high, I'm just going to continue to look for shorts in a downtrend. Going down to the 1-hour time frame. 1-hour time frame, the euro definitely had some strength today. It did go up and break structure, which to me proves that this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is complete. Most likely what we're going to see now is a wave A or possibly a wave 1. Then we're going to see a correction like a wave B or possibly a wave 2. And then I think it's going to be a wave C, probably go up to the 61 or the 78%. Then make an impulsive turn to the downside, ending a wave C and continuing the downtrend. If it turns out to be a wave 3, it probably will bounce off some of these fibs, but it'll never take out structure, and eventually it'll go up and start taking out this major structure. If it takes out that structure, I'll know that this is a 1, 2, 3, and instead of looking for shorts, I will start looking for longs again in an uptrend, because this definitely could end up being the end of a wave C, but it also could, from looking at the dollar index, be a 1 of C, and then it could go up and make a 2 of C. So either way, I'm definitely going to get long while I learn whether it's a wave 2 or whether it's a continuation of the uptrend. So let's look at the pound dollar. Let's head back up to the daily time frame. On the pound dollar, I think it's very similar to the euro dollar. I think we're going down, and I still think this is more likely to be a wave C. I still think it's going to go down to one of these fib levels. It's going to make an impulsive turn. It's going to take out structure, and it's going to end up continuing the uptrend. Now, until it actually does a structure break to the upside, I am definitely very bearish, and I'm definitely looking for shorts on shorter time frames. Going down to the 4-hour time frame, this is our latest structure level right here. Technically, we do have a structure level right here because we do have a new low in, but we really need to see this candle on the next candle close because a structure needs to have candles on both sides to be a structure level. So technically it's not really a structure yet, but if it does end up doing something like that, it probably will turn into a structure. But anyways, for now, I am definitely only looking for shorts. It looks like we already had a short today. That was actually a pretty nice opportunity on the 1-hour time frame. So taking it down to the 1 hour, this is a very clear entry that we had today. We had impulsive up, we had corrective down, we had impulsive up, we had a lower high, big impulsive down at the news today. That was almost a perfect ABC correction, and that would have been a very, very good entry to go short. Now it is starting to go up right now. There's no reason at all to think on the longer time frames that this trend is over. So if it does go up, if it does make another three-way pullback, maybe something like this over here, 3 ways up, impulsive impulsive down, that is exactly what I'm looking for to go short for the continuation of this potential downtrend that may not even be over yet. So like I said, until it takes out this high right here, I'm only looking for shorts, and I'm only going to go short at the end of ABC pullbacks. 3 waves up, impulsive down, just like what we had this morning. 3 waves up, impulsive down, entry to go short. That was right at the news right there. So if you had a pending order or something right below one of these levels, you would have had a very, very profitable trade out of that. Now let's check out the Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar is going down pretty strong today also. Now the Aussie dollar looks like a trend right here, almost a perfect little 5-wave trend. Probably a wave 1 at this point. This is probably an A, B, C. Most likely a wave 2, but it could be an A and a B, and then it looks like a 1, 2, and we're in a wave 3. If it's a wave C, it may go down to one of these 2 Fibonacci levels, then turn back up, then take out structure and continue the uptrend. If it's not a wave C, but it's actually a wave 3, then it may bounce off some fib levels, but it'll never take out structure to the upside. It'll just keep making lower lows, lower highs, and just keep on trending down, telling us that it's a wave 3. Now honestly, for me, I really don't care whether it's a wave C or whether it's a wave 3, because the market will tell me whether it's a 3 or whether it's a C, and I'll just continue to look for shorts on shorter time frames until the market tells me that the wave C is over or that the wave 3 is over. So really, I don't care whether it's a C or whether it's a 3, because I'll be looking for shorts on these shorter time frames. Going down to the 4-hour, I think there's a 1-2 in here someplace, probably like a 1-2, and now we're in a wave 3. Very strong to the downside, as you can see. There's no reason to think this trend is over, so I am definitely looking for shorts in a downtrend for sure. So taking it down to the 1-hour time frame. On the 1-hour time frame, we do have let's see, our last end of a correction was back here. It's more like a trend, really. It definitely made 5 waves up, but then it made 1 down and then another up. So I think that's an ABC correction right there. It's just a little bit of a different shape of an ABC, but that's definitely an ABC. Impulsive down, the entry to go short was actually yesterday, and you could definitely still be short on this and be raking in the profit as of now. So really no reason to think that this is over. So if you do see some pullbacks, you do see an impulsive move down, especially on even shorter than the 1 hour, that I would just continue to go short. I would continue to look for shorts in a downtrend. Definitely no reason to think that any of these dollar pairs are finished with their moves as of yet. The Kiwi is very, very strong to the downside because of that Kiwi news that we had yesterday. We are for sure in a wave 3 right now, as you can see. So this is definitely a wave 3. So what do we have on the Kiwi? It's very similar to the Aussie. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably a 1. This is probably an A, B, C, probably a 2, but it could be an A and a B, and then it looks like a 1, 2, and we're in a wave 3. Even if it does turn out to be a wave C, it's probably going to go down to the 100% level, or if it's a wave 3, it'll just keep on making lower lows, lower highs. Just like the Aussie dollar, I don't care whether it's a 3 or whether it's a C, because either scenario, I'm going to be looking for shorts on shorter time frames, and the market will tell me whether it's a C or whether it's a 3 by showing me a structure break to the upside and showing me the end of a trend. So going down to the 4-hour time frame, very strong move to the downside. This was an awesome entry right here. 1 down, 1, 2, 3 up. So A, B, C up. Didn't go to the 61.8. It kind of turned right in the middle, but I would definitely consider that I was expecting the 50 because price was really not able to hold above that level. So 1, 2, 3 or A, B, C of 2, and now we're in what I think is for sure 1, 2, 3 down. No reason to think that this is over yet either. I'm sure we'll have some pullbacks along the way, but I would definitely continue to look for shorts in a downtrend for sure. So going down to the 1 hour time frame, like I said, this happened at news yesterday. It was a little unclear because the wave C made a lower high, but that's what I would call an irregular wave C. It's actually a very, very common pattern, the irregular wave C. So we have impulsive down, we got A, B, C up, and then we have very impulsive down. So I definitely wouldn't try to go short now, but if I did see another pullback, something like this, another impulsive move down, that's when I would go short for the continuation of this downtrend. So I definitely, like I said, wouldn't be trying to go short now because you would be chasing it big time. trying to catch a falling knife, and you would probably get cut on that one for sure. But if it does make three ways up, if it does make an impulsive move down, then that is for sure going to be my next opportunity to go short. US dollar Canadian even made a big push up today. It started off looking very corrective, but if you were paying attention to structure, you would have realized that that was just a distortion because you were not tuned to the correct frequency of time frames. So anyways, the daily time frame, this is a downtrend. I think it's an A. This is an A, B, C, probably an A, B, C, or B. Then we have a downtrend, almost a perfect downtrend right here. We gotta admire this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you looked up an Elliott wave trend on Google or in the Elliott wave Proctor book, you would see a picture of that right there, almost a perfect trend. Then you have an impulsive up, you have a break of structure, then you have three ways down, a little bit of a double bottom, but I definitely see that it is a higher low, and then you have a high, a low, and now another high. I don't think this is over. I think this is going to go up. I think it's going to break these levels and maybe even go a lot further than that. So now let's take it down to the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, definitely we're looking for longs in an uptrend. We're looking for three-way pullbacks. The last ABC was right here. The rest of these pullbacks are better visible on like the 1 hour, but as you can see, ever since we ended this big ABC way back here, we've been making higher lows, higher lows, higher low, higher low, higher low, and higher low. So as of now, we're definitely looking for longs. It's not going to go long now, but at the end of the next pullback, I will for sure be looking for longs in an uptrend. So let's take it right down to the 1 hour time frame. So now on the 1 hour time frame is where we can start seeing some of these pullbacks as three-wave corrections. 1, 2, 3 waves down, 1, 2, 3 waves, and then really that whole thing is a correction actually. 1, 2, 3 waves down. So 1, 2, 3 waves down, and like I said, making higher lows the whole way up. It's definitely still going up. It hasn't broken structure to the downside yet. I definitely wouldn't be trying to go long now, but if it makes another pullback, that's when I will be looking for longs and for the continuation of this uptrend. Definitely no reason to think this trend is over. We're just going to continue to look for longs in an uptrend for sure. So let me see here. So let's check out the US dollar Swiss and head back up to the daily time frame. And on the daily time frame, the US dollar Swiss is definitely heading up a little bit now too, but I still think there's a good likelihood it is a correction. It still looks to me like a 1, it still looks like an ABC of 2, and it looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably like a 1 of 3, and this is probably going to end up being some sort of a correction, maybe go up to one of these Fibonacci levels, then end an ABC correction, probably a 2, and then continue the downtrend. So I still think there's a good chance this is going to make a lower high, but for right now it's definitely going up, and if it just continues to go up, and if it just keeps on going up and taking out this high right here, that's definitely not going to matter to me, because I'll just continue to look for longs on shorter time frames. So if it just keeps on going, definitely not going to hurt my feelings any. So going down to the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame, I'm really only looking for three-way pullbacks, 3 ways down, 3 ways down. Even right here was a better correction on the 1 hour, but you can see that it's 3 ways down. As you can see, it's making higher lows, higher lows, higher low, higher low, higher low the whole way up. It did have a break of structure right there, but it then almost instantly rejected that structure, and now it's going up. No reason to think this is over either, so I'm just going to continue to look for longs in an uptrend on shorter time frames. 1 hour time frame, this last pullback right here is definitely a little tricky. Like I said, it's more like a motive wave than a ABC correction, but this right here was very nice. 1, 2, 3 waves down, very impulsive up. No reason to think this trend is over on the longer time frame, so if you see another 3-way pullback, another higher low, then I'll just keep on going long for the continuation of the uptrend, at least until I see a break of structure to the downside on some of these longer time frames. I am going to be doing nothing but looking for longs in an uptrend at the end of any pullback that I may see along the way. So US dollar yen, let's take that up to the daily time frame also. So US dollar yen is going up also. It looks like it should be a wave C, but just like some of these other pairs, if it turns out to be a wave 3 and it just keeps on drifting up, it's definitely not going to bother me one bit if this wave C turns into a wave 3 and I was wrong about this being an ABC correction, because on the shorter time frames I'm just going to be looking for longs anyways. So if this wave C that I think is a wave C turns into a wave 3, definitely not going to bother me one bit. But as of now, it's going up. I don't think it's over. If it does go up to one of these fib levels, making a pulse move down, take out structure, that's what's going to show me that it is a wave C, and that's exactly what I'm going to be looking for the continuation of the downtrend. But until we see that, I'm definitely looking for longs on shorter time frames. Going down to the 4 hour, I guess right, our last swing is right here. So as of now, the trend is definitely up. The only thing that's going to make me want to go short is seeing this go down and take out that structure, which it definitely has not done so yet. So if it does make another pullback, if it does make another higher low, then I'll just keep on going long for the continuation of the uptrend. On these shorter time frames, the only thing I really care about is going long at the end of pullbacks. I don't really care about trying to count these waves. All I really care about is 3 waves down, impulsive up, go long. 3 waves, go long. 3 waves down, go long. 3 waves down, long. 3 waves down, long. And I bet if you went down to the 15 or 30 minute, that most recent pullback probably has almost a perfect 3-wave correction. So like I said, I'm definitely not going to go long now, but if I see another 3-wave pattern, another impulsive move up, then I'll just keep on going long at the end of those 3-wave patterns for the continuation of the uptrend, which looks like it should be a wave C, but if it turns into a wave 3, that's fine by me. Definitely does not hurt my feelings at all if I was wrong about it being a wave C. Ooh, gold went up and spiked above structure right there, but it rejected it almost immediately. That's actually a pretty good sign that the trend is not over. The downtrend is not over, that is. Now, this is one that we've been talking about a lot in my private group because this is a favorite of a lot of my members. It looks like it should be a wave A. It looks like it should go up and make a B, and it looks like it should go down and make a C before it continues the uptrend. But looking at the dollar index and a lot of the other dollar pairs, to me this looks like a wave A. I think this is a 3-way pattern up. I think this is an irregular wave B. I think there's a very good chance this move down is a wave C, which may not even be over yet. It's probably going to go down to one of these lower fib levels to finish a wave C. An irregular top right here, an irregular wave B is probably going to throw a lot of people off. But if I see the end of a trend, I am for sure going to be ready to go long for the continuation of this uptrend. So, let's head down to the 4-hour time frame. Hey, Moment, sorry buddy, but normally I only look at pairs for my paying members. That's part of the benefit. Hey Vicky, how's it going? Hey MJR, yeah, definitely. The UJ is probably one of your favorite pairs, huh? So anyways, down on the 4-hour time frame, the fact that this broke structure and then rejected structure almost immediately is actually a pretty good sign that this downtrend may not be over. I would definitely still be looking for shorts. It may even be an ABC correction right here. I'm actually starting to think this right here is a wave B, and this is a wave A, and this is a wave C. And that rejection of structure right there is a good sign that this may just keep on going down. So I would definitely keep an eye out on shorter time frames for shorts, no doubt about it. Going down to the 1-hour time frame, if I see this right here break structure to the downside, I'm gonna for sure say that that's a downtrend, that's the end of a correction. Now I think this may actually be the ABC right here. It's definitely not the clearest pattern, but we have to be careful for patterns like this. It looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A. Now this move down is more like a trend. That's the part that kind of throws us off. But then this move up also looks like a trend. So if we get a break of structure to the downside, that may convince me that it's the end of a wave C. And at that point, I would definitely try to go short for the continuation of the downtrend. On the other hand, if price does turn back up, and if it does go up and start closing above structure, then at that point I would probably stop looking for shorts and I would start looking for longs again, because if it does break that structure, it's actually a good sign that this trend may be over. But with that rejection right there, I'm saying that there's very good likelihood that we're heading back down. maybe even all the way back down to one of these lower fib levels on the higher time frames. I think the 1935 area is going to be a real likely place, especially with this high right here. That top is probably going to become a bottom. That last correction ended right at that area too, so that looks like a pretty likely place to end a correction. Let's see, look at all the resistance back here that we had at that area also. So I think there's a good chance that gold is going down still. I definitely am looking for shorts in a downtrend. I was waiting for a structure break to the upside to tell me that I shouldn't look for shorts anymore, but the fact that it rejected that structure level tells me that there's a very good likelihood that it's actually going to go back down. So we got all the dollar pairs. Let's head over and look at some of these yen pairs. Let's see. We have a little bit of we lost a little bit of correlation here because the Aussie yen and the Kiwi yen had bad news that caused a break of structure, but I still think that the yen pairs overall are still going up. I still think that this euro yen has an ABC correction and at the 38.2, and that eventually it will go up and take out that high. That doesn't mean that it won't make a pullback, but I think it's more likely to just keep on trending up. So let's take it down to the 4-hour time frame. So 4-hour time frame, this is the structure level. I was waiting for a break, and it didn't happen yet. And actually, it looks like 3 waves down, so it may just keep on drifting up, honestly. I mean, if it makes a lower high and starts to turn down in a big way, then maybe it will go down and break a structure. But until it actually does that, I am very, very bullish, and I'm definitely only looking for longs in an uptrend. And as you can see, it looks like it already made a correction. It looks like 1 wave down, wave A. 1, 2, 3 waves up, wave B. Another wave down, wave C. Higher low, and very impulsive up. I think that we had the end of a correction, and I am definitely still looking for longs in an uptrend at the end of any of these ABC pullbacks. So yeah, yen pairs, the yen pairs and the dollar pairs are definitely my favorite pairs to trade by far. Pretty much the only pairs that I do trade. So the pound pairs, the pound yen that is. So the pound yen does have a little bit of a 3-4-5 shape right here, but that definitely does not necessarily mean that this is now going to go down and take out structure and that we're going to have the end of a trend. Especially with the fact that a lot of these yen pairs look like they're still going up, and the fact that we're not bouncing off a fib level, we're not taking out any structure yet. If it does make a move to the downside, it's probably just going to be a correction, and it's probably just going to keep on trending up. According to my longer weekly, monthly time frames, all these yen pairs have a lot of upside potential still. So as you can see, price really did bounce off that fib level, this structure level several times. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 hits on this structure, and it was not able to close below structure, telling me that the buyers, the bulls, are definitely still in charge of this pattern. Until I have a break of structure to the downside, I'm definitely only looking for longs. It kind of looks like it may just keep on going up, honestly, and it may just keep on making higher highs and higher lows. Let's see, the 1-hour time frame. I was thinking this one already ended a correction also. It's kind of going down a little bit now, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. So I think we have a wave A. I think we have 3 waves up. I think this is a wave B, even though it did make a higher high. That's an irregular top or an irregular wave B. And I think this is a wave C. It rejected this structure level, made an impulsive move up. So like I said, until price actually breaks below this structure, I'm definitely only looking for longs, and I'm only looking to go long at the end of pullbacks. Pretty much any single one of these pullbacks that you went long for pretty much any reason, whether it was an indicator or whether it was price action or whatever reason you had to go long, if you were going long this whole time, you probably would have made a lot of money on the way up on this uptrend. Aussie yen. Now this one's a lot different though, because the yen, the Aussie, and the Kiwi made a huge push down. I think there's a good chance that they're going to kind of straighten themselves out and probably go back up also, but as of right now, they're definitely going down, and until I see some sort of a break of structure or something to the upside, I wouldn't even think about trying to go long on either of these pairs for sure. So the 1 hour is pretty much where we can see the trend. So if we see a break of structure up, maybe we can go long. Maybe this is like an irregular ABC, but really, if we were looking to go long a yen pair, I think we could find a better yen pair than this to pick, because the Aussie and the Kiwi are both very, very weak. to the downside. So I definitely would pick a different pair to try to go long on if I was trying to go long. It looks like a 1, 2, and a 3, so it's probably going to make a 4 and a 5. Then if we see a break of structure, then maybe that would convince me to go long, but really, I think we could find better opportunities on like the euro, the pound, or the Canadian, or the Swiss yen for sure. The Canadian yen, what do we got here? Definitely no reason to think this one is over either. It is definitely going down, but that's probably because the Aussie and the Canadian are pretty correlated. They do move a lot alike sometimes. But I think any moves we see to the downside is definitely still going to be a correction to the uptrend. So taking it down to the 4-hour time frame. Oh, awesome, buddy. That's awesome. So if you're interested in learning more about my strategy, especially since you made 200 euros today, you can definitely join my Patreon. The link for that is in the chat and in the description. It's $49 a month, US dollars, and it comes with my trading course. It comes with the private chats, comes with my members forecast every single morning before the London session, and it comes with a bunch of educational information. So definitely check that out if you're interested. Anybody is more than welcome to join my Discord for 100% for free. We have, I think, over 3,400 members now. What are we up to? Let me look. We're at 3283, so we're almost at 3,300 members. So definitely check that out if you're interested. It's 100% free to join. And no obligations to pay a dime. You can stay a free member for as long as you want. But if you are interested in learning more about my strategy, I would definitely suggest joining my Patreon membership. So the Canadian yen really looks like it just finished a wave B. It actually looks a little different. It kind of looks like it's in a wave C right now. But if we see the end of a trend on the longer time, at the shorter time frames, then I would definitely be interested in going long. It does kind of look like it's trying to do that. This looks like a downtrend, and then this looks like 3 waves up, and then this looks like a downtrend also. It kind of looks like it wants to go down again, so I don't really think it's quite ready to go long yet. But if I see something like this with a break of structure to the upside, then I would definitely be ready to go long for the continuation of this uptrend. For sure, no reason to think that this trend is over on the longer time frames as of yet. So until that actually happens, though, since we are making lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, I would probably just keep going short on shorter time frames. Even though the trend is up on the longer time frames, it still looks like it wants to go down some more. The US dollar Swiss actually looks like it wants to go up too, though, so maybe the Canadian will go up. It could just be a little bit of a misconception or something, because it does look like a 3-way pattern up for a B, and it does look like a C. It did make an impulsive move up, so I would keep an eye for longs on shorter time frames. It looks like it wants to go up. Now if it does go down and break structure, then I would probably stop looking for longs, and I would probably start looking for shorts in a downtrend. It has not done that yet, so until it actually does do that, I would just continue to look for shorts in a downtrend. So let's see here. Let me see. One of my members was asking about the USD ZAR. Let's check that out before I move on to commodities, so I can get that one out of the way. Where is it? I was going to say, I know I looked at this recently. So this one has been in a huge uptrend, and we have a little bit of a break of structure to the upside, and that's usually a pretty good place for a pullback. So I bet this is actually getting ready to make a pullback now. So taking it down to the weekly. Oh yeah, look at that. The last structure is way down there, telling me that most likely this is going to be another pullback, another correction to the uptrend. So on the daily, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2. So this is probably a wave 3 right here. This is probably making a wave 4, and then it's going to make a wave 5, I bet. That seems pretty clear, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it looks like it needs to make a wave 5 just to finish off this section of trend. So what I would probably be doing now is put my Fibonacci measuring this whole move up. And I would be looking for a wave 4, which a wave 4 probably will break this low right here. But really, if this goes up and if it does break structure, I would go long, because the trend is definitely still up in my eyes. So I would definitely continue to go long for the continuation of this uptrend for sure. But it kind of looks like it's ready to make a wave 4, and if it is going to make a wave 4, then it's probably actually going to go down to one of these lower fib levels before it actually goes back up. So going down to the 1 hour time frame, probably right now I would continue to look for shorts until I see some sort of a real clear break of structure to the upside. So until that happens, I would probably just continue to look for shorts in a downtrend because it looks like it needs to go down and make a wave 4. A wave 4 would go down and break these lows, so it probably is going to actually end up going down some more, which is kind of odd because maybe the dollar is still going up, so maybe it's the other currency that's causing that. Maybe the South African rand has got a little bit of strength right now. So let's go check out oil and natural gas. So oil, what do we got on oil? It's really struggling to go up, but it is going up slowly. It still looks like it should be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A, and then it should make a B, and then it should go up to make a C. I still think there's a good likelihood that we're going up to one of these 2 Fibonacci levels to make an ABC of wave B. So that's still what I expect, but the fact that we haven't broken any real structure, even on the daily we haven't broken structure, if this makes 3 waves up, makes an impulsive move down, I would actually go short again, because this is a big downtrend on the weekly monthly. Until it actually breaks some structure to the upside, I would actually be inclined to think that it may try to make another move down. Now, according to the pattern, it still really looks like it wants to go up and make a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A. So until I actually see an end of a trend for that third wave right there, I would continue to look for longs on these shorter time frames. Going down to the 4 hour, it's definitely trending up. It still looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It still looks like there could be like an ABC in here somewhere, maybe right there, like an ABC of 2. And it still looks to me like this could end up being a wave 3. It is making higher lows, as you can see, so if we see any pullbacks, I would definitely continue to look for longs. Now, on the other hand, if this is a wave C, then it will do this, and then it will do that, and then it will break structure. That will tell me that this is an ABC correction. If it's an ABC, then we better start looking for shorts, because at that point it probably will just continue the downtrend. But I wouldn't even think about going short until I saw something like that, because it looks like it's going up. So it is going down now, but I do think there's a very good likelihood this move down is going to be a correction to this move up. So if we see 3 waves down, we see an impulsive move up, I would definitely go long again. I would just keep on going long at the end of every one of these pullbacks. Like, look at it on the 30-minute. These are all 30-minute corrections. And they're all 3 waves. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. A, B, C. A, B, C down, impulsive up, go long. So if it does another 3-way pullback, something like this, I would definitely go long again at the end of that pullback for the continuation of the uptrend for sure. Because it looks like on the daily it needs to continue to stretch out to make that big 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A. UK oil looks a little more convincing, honestly, that that's a wave 3. It's about the same, but natural gas, I think that this one's kind of tricky. It looks like it wants to go up, but this downtrend is having a hard time giving up. Now, on the daily, I still think it's very clear that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 1. I still think it's very clear this is a 2. And I still think it's very clear that this is all a wave 3. It looks like we already have the end of a wave 3, especially with this break of structure, which is why I still think that this is more likely to go up like this and make this type of pattern, an A, B, C of 4. Whoops. That's supposed to be a B. Oop. ABC of 4, probably all the way up to one of these higher fib levels, and then go down to make a wave 5. Then we would have a complete 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern, which is really looks like what it should actually be doing. I just did oil. I'm still very bullish on oil. I still think that it could be a wave 3, but I would probably be watching it on roughly the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, If on the 4-hour time frame, if it does this 3, 4, 5 shape and then breaks structure, I would say it's a wave C, and I would at that point definitely be ready to go short. If it doesn't break structure and instead just keeps on drifting up, I would personally just keep on going. I still think it's more likely to be a 1, 2, 3 of wave A, like I've been saying. But with how corrective up it looks, if you see this, I would definitely say that's a wave C, and I would definitely be prepared to go short. And natural gas, we just barely started looking at that one. And I still think this thing needs to go up. I still think it needs to be even though I've seen a couple people lately talk about how natural gas is going back down, I still, according to my own analysis, think that this is going up for an ABC of 4. And then back down for a 5. It really seems actually very, very clear. So I always try to stick to clarity. I try not to pay too much attention to what other people say. And oh, look, we're about to break structure to the upside. That's probably a wave A or a wave 1 right there. That's actually almost a perfect downtrend right there. Yeah, we'll circle back to the Euro-US dollar. We'll look at the dollar pairs again way before the end of the meeting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's almost a perfect downtrend. And now we're getting a break of structure, at least starting to break structure. Excuse me, and that looks like it's either a wave A, which I think it is a wave A, I'm pretty confident, but it could be a wave 1, and then this move up should be a crescent to this whole move down. So if it goes up, makes a crescent, which should be a wave B, I believe. I think it's going to be a wave B, but it could be a wave 2. If it is a wave, that's an awful wave 2. There we go. If it is a wave 2, then the next move down will be a wave 3, and it'll just keep on going down. If it's not a wave 2 and it's a wave B, which I think it is, then this next move down will be a wave C, and it'll probably go down to the 50%, which I think is the most likely area. Look at all the support at the 50%. We got touches there, we got touch there, right here, right there, right there. So I think this wave C is going to end at that 50%, and then it's going to end up continuing the uptrend. Probably a 1, probably a 2, and probably a wave 3 of wave A. It seems very clear that we're just ending this wave A. We'll circle back to the US dollar yen also, buddy. Don't worry. We always look at the dollar pairs at the end. Yeah, no problem. We'll circle back to the dollar pairs. 1 hour time frame looks very clear that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it looks extremely clear that it's about to break structure. I think it's an A. I think this is going to go up and make a wave B next, which is a crescent to the wave A, and I think it's going to go down to the 50% to finish a wave C and then end up continuing the uptrend. Probably a 1, probably a 2, and then probably a wave 3 of wave A, which this wave A should be a wave A of wave 4 on the longer time frames. So let's go look at Bitcoin, and we'll look at the stock market also. Ooh, Bitcoin is going down. It's breaking that structure finally. That's what we've been waiting for. We've been waiting for this for quite some time. It looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that we are getting this clearer structure break, I am pretty confident that this is an A. And then this is a B and a C. Now, I was saying that this could be a 1, 2, 3, but now we're getting a structure break. I know that this is not a wave 3, because if it was a wave 3, we would not get a structure break to the downside. We would just continue to get higher lows. So I'm pretty confident this is a wave C, and I'm very confident that it's going down now, probably all the way back down to these lows. I still have about a $12,500 target on Bitcoin on the weekly monthly. That's my target, about $12,500, so that's a long ways down. Oh, look at that crescent. That's a very clear crescent. A, 3 waves down. B, impulsive up. C, ABC. That's a very, very clear crescent. And now we're going down. Definitely no reason to think that downtrend is over. I would just continue to look for shorts in a downtrend for sure. 1 hour time frame. 1, 2, 3, probably 4, 5 right there with the failed wave 5, and then down, break structure. Very clear. I would for sure be looking for shorts in a downtrend at this point for sure. I would be looking for pullbacks to go short. I'd be looking for 3 waves up, impulsive down to go short. I think that we're heading down in a big way now that we got that break of structure. That pretty much confirms to me that we do have a wave C and that we are heading back down. Let's see what the stock market's doing. Ooh, the stock market's taking a big nosedive today. Now that did make 3 waves up right there, so that's why I think that this is probably, I still think that this is going to go up again, and I still think that the dollar is going to go down again, but this is 1 wave down, that's 3 waves up. That looks like an A and an irregular top for a wave B, and that means that this move down is probably going to be a wave C, and I think it's going to go up again to finish off this big ABC crescent, which I can show you on the weekly what I mean by that. I think this whole move down is an A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of A. I think this is an A, B, C of B. And I think we're going to go down to probably at least a 61% to make a wave C before we end up continuing back up. So I'm definitely still very bullish on the stock market. Probably everybody else is bearish, but I'm still bullish. I think it's going to go up. I think it's going to take out that high, and then after that I'll get bearish, because then I think it's going back down. So on the sort of time frames, it kind of looks like a wave C. Look at that. That's definitely a wave B right there. I would for sure put my money on that. This is a downtrend, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wave downtrend, wave A. This is an A, B, C, wave B, and it looks like a 1, 2, 3, and it's probably going to go down like this, ending a wave C, impulsive up, break of structure, and then end up continuing the uptrend. That actually looks very clear to me that this is an irregular top, or an irregular wave B is what I call it. So 1 hour time frame, we're definitely looking for 3-way pullbacks. Look at that one we had today, 1, 2, 3, go short. That's kind of a messy one right there, but it's definitely a corrective pattern. We had a break of structure right there, which shows us that this was the end of a wave C of wave B. And I don't think it's over, so if it makes another 3-way pattern, I would definitely just continue to look for shorts in a downtrend for the continuation of the downtrend. It really looks like we have a long ways to go to the downside. So let me just check Discord to see if there's any other pairs that I might have missed. We already got oil. And we already looked at the Aussie, but we're going to circle back and do those now. So let's go back to the dollar pair, see if there's anything new going on with the dollar. Oh, it is touching that Fibonacci level right there. That definitely could be an area of resistance. But it's breaking out. I don't think this trend is over. I still think it's going to just keep on going up. It's going to eventually break this high, and it's most likely going to be a wave C of wave 2. I think this is a wave 1. I think it's a wave 2, and eventually it's going to go down to make a wave 3. I think while the stock market is going down to finish its wave C, the US dollar is going to continue up to finish its wave C, and then they're both going to end up turning probably around the same time, and the dollar will go down, and the stock market will keep going up. So now let's take it down to the 4 hour. We already looked at the 4 hour, the 1 hour. We are at the 50% level, so that may be an area of resistance for us. So really our last swing level was right here. So unless price goes down and takes that out, I would just continue to look for longs in an uptrend. I don't really think it's over yet, so I'm definitely still looking for pullback entries on all the dollar pairs. Yeah, that euro dollar today, let me get rid of this fib because it's kind of invalid now. That dollar today, the euro found some strength today, but now it's going back down. Maybe that is an irregular. One of my members said this to me earlier today, that they thought this was an A. They thought this was 3 waves down for a B, and this was a wave C. I think it was Jenskin and Cat Mom were both saying that this was an ABC crescent, and that's looking like what it is. I think it's going down. I think it's still going down, and I would definitely still be looking for shorts in a downtrend. With that break of structure right there, it kind of threw us off, but now we can see those 3 waves down. That's definitely a wave B, this is a wave C, and this is a wave A, and now we're heading back down. So definitely still looking for shorts. The pound dollar, beautiful entry today. This is probably the most clearest entry of the day so far. 3 waves up, impulsive down at the pound news area. Lower high. Perfect entry to go short. Really, really nice entry to go short. Kiwi dollar, really this is from the news that we had yesterday evening, the Kiwi news. Really the entry to go short was way back here yesterday on Tuesday. So really, unless you're trading on very short time frames, these little pullbacks are probably visible best on like the 5-minute or the 15-minute time frame. Definitely no reason to think it's over yet. So if you see some more pullbacks, I would definitely be still looking for shorts in a downtrend for sure. The Kiwi just keeps on going. The Kiwi is very weak and the dollar is pretty strong, so this is an awesome pair to be going short on. I definitely wouldn't be trying to go short now, but at that pullback right there on like the 5-minute, that was probably a perfect entry. And even at the news that came out for the Kiwi, we had 3 waves up. We had a very clear 3-way pattern right before the news, and then bam, nosedive. Very, very, very nice trade. And then this whole thing is an A, B, C also. So we have a 1, 2, and we're still in a wave 3. So I would definitely be looking for shorts on this one still. At the end of pullbacks, I definitely wouldn't be trying to go short now. US dollar Canadian, same thing. I'm definitely looking for longs. I'm not going to go long now because if I went long there, it would probably be right at the top of a trend. But if I see another pullback, I would definitely go long at the end of a pullback for the continuation of the uptrend. I may even, if it start to scale into this, if it goes down, buy a little. If it goes down some more, buy a little more. And then bam, there it goes. To the upside it would go. US dollar Swiss, pretty much the same deal. I'm definitely looking for longs. This one had a very clear entry today also. We had 1, 2, 3 ways down. Nice long entry. Real nice long entry. Right here, 1, 2, 3 ways down. 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 1, 2, 3 waves down. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Like I always say, trading doesn't really have to be difficult. What makes trading difficult is the psychology behind trading. Trading is really not that difficult if you got your psychology together. Which obviously we all have issues with that. We're humans, so. So anyways, the US dollar yen, definitely I'm still looking for longs. This was a very nice entry today too, 3 ways down, and then bam, this is one of the ones that I traded today. I already got out of it because on this pullback I got out, but this was a very, very clear entry. 1, 2, 3, another really good entry. 1, 2, 3 ways down, 1, 2, 3 ways down. Definitely still looking for longs. Definitely don't see any reason to do anything but look for longs on these shorter time frames. And gold, I think gold is heading down. Look at that. It's definitely heading down. If somebody was listening to this live streaming at the beginning when we first got on, I was saying that gold looks like it's going down because of this rejection of the Fibonacci structure and the fact that this is 1, 2, 3 waves up. That was a very clear entry too. Maybe gold will make the clearest entry of the day today because that's very clear. 1, 2, 3 waves up, rejection of the Fibonacci of the structure, and then impulsive down entry to go short. Very, very, very nice entries. And we just had some news this recently, which was at 3:05. Yellen is speaking. She's probably still speaking right now. So definitely keep an eye on those dollar pairs. But that's probably what's causing the dollar to go up and these other pairs to go down is Janet Yellen, which is the Treasury Secretary, is talking right now. So in the U.S., there's a big, everybody's worried that the U.S. is going to default on its debt, I think on January 6th, or the June 5th or June 6th, I think if the Republicans and Democrats don't figure their crap out, then apparently the dollar is going to default. Now, I was listening to somebody else that I follow, and they were saying this is since 1940 or 1938, this is the 72nd or 74th time that the dollar that the U.S. has had to raise the debt ceiling because otherwise they would have defaulted on their debt. So honestly, most people are saying that they're probably going to come to an agreement probably the day of or the evening of the deadline. So I don't really personally think it's too much to worry about, but I'm sure the markets are probably going to be a little volatile over the next couple of weeks because that January 5th is, I think, 2 Mondays from now. So 2 Mondays from now, the U.S. needs to get their crap together or else they're going to default on their debt, which hasn't happened in a very, very long time, but since Nixon was in office in the 70s, I think was the last time it happened. We already looked at the pound yen. We looked at all the yen pairs. We looked at all the dollar pairs. We looked at oil, natural gas. We looked at Bitcoin, and we looked at the S&P 500. So I gonna check and see if there's any more requests for my Patreon members, which I don't see any. So if you haven't done so already, definitely join my free Discord channel. It's 100% free to join. No obligations to pay a dime if you do not want to. But if you do want to learn more about my trading strategy, which I teach to my Patreon members, then this is the link to join that. It comes with a trading course. It comes with free educational information. It comes with daily forecasts on all the dollar pairs and all the yen pairs before the London session. I give my daily forecast and I tell you what time frame to watch for entries. So really, you get a lot for your money. And let me just show everybody real quick. So you get a daily forecast on all these pairs right here. Every single yen pair, every single dollar pair you get a forecast on. On top of that, I also give my ideas about what I think is happening in the market in this private chat right here. And then you get educational information. You get twice a week Zoom meetings where I teach my strategy. And you also get a trading course which comes with it. Which this right here is my trading course. This is my trading course. It's 38 videos, comes with the membership. So you do get a lot for your money, that's for sure. So definitely, if you're interested in that, you can contact me on Discord, or you can check out the link that I put on the screen, in the chats and in the description. So hopefully everybody's doing fairly well with their trading. It's been a good couple weeks of trading for most of the members of my group, because we're back into a trend, which is really good for trend traders like us. So I really hope everybody is having a good week, having a good day. So anyways, thanks Vicky, I appreciate that. So anyways, I hope everybody enjoys the rest of the day, and as always, as usual, happy trading as always. Thanks and happy trading.